Learning English through stories is one of the most powerful and fun ways to improve. When you hear English used in a real situation, your brain picks up the grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure automatically. You don't need to memorize rules or study long lists. Just listen, enjoy, and learn. If you like learning this way, make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and turn on the bell. We post new stories every single day. Mia had always dreamed of flying in first class. She had seen the videos online. Wide seats that turned into beds, meals served on real plates, sparkling drinks, and even tiny salt shakers. The idea seemed so far from her usual travels with basic seats and crowded rows. But this time, Mia was going to Europe. It was a long flight, and she was flying alone. Her parents had helped her plan the whole trip. She was nervous but excited. At the airport, Mia went through security, found her gate, and waited with her backpack on her lap. The flight to Paris was almost ready to board. She held her ticket tightly in her hand and read it again and again. The seat number was written clearly, and she memorized it to avoid any confusion. When it was finally time to board, Mia stood up with the first group by mistake. She didn't realize they were calling for first-class passengers only. Everyone around her had fancy suitcases and shiny passports. She just followed them. No one stopped her at the gate. The airline worker scanned her boarding pass and smiled. Mia smiled back, still unsure if everything was right. Inside the plane, the first-class cabin looked like a hotel in the sky. Soft lighting, quiet music, and large leather seats. Mia looked at the numbers on the seats and found hers. Or at least she thought she did. She sat down and sank into the seat. It was bigger than any seat she had ever seen. There was a blanket already folded, and a small screen in front of her. A friendly flight attendant walked by and offered her juice. Mia smiled and accepted. She couldn't believe her luck. Maybe the airline had upgraded her without telling her. Maybe this was her reward for being early. She took off her shoes and pulled out a book. The cabin started to fill with more passengers. Most of them looked relaxed, used to this type of comfort. Mia felt proud and a little out of place, but she was enjoying it. Then, a woman in a sharp grey coat stopped by her seat. She looked down, confused. Mia looked up. The woman checked her ticket again, and then looked at Mia. She didn't say anything, but her face said a lot. Mia felt a chill in her stomach. The flight attendant came back, smiling politely, and asked to see Mia's ticket. Mia handed it over, and the flight attendant's smile changed just a little. There had been a mistake. Mia's seat was not in first class. It was in economy, several rows back, in the middle of a packed section. Mia felt her cheeks get hot. She apologized quietly, though no one had blamed her. The attendant nodded and gently asked her to follow. Mia picked up her bag, her shoes in one hand and her book in the other, and walked back down the aisle past all the curious faces. The quiet luxury faded into the usual noise and movement of economy class. Her real seat was between two strangers, next to the aisle. It was small and didn't recline much, and there was no sparkling drink waiting for her. She sat down and stared at the back of the seat in front of her. Her heart was still beating fast. She didn't know whether to laugh or hide. But slowly, she began to smile. She thought about how kind the flight crew had been. They hadn't made a big deal out of it. They hadn't laughed or made her feel bad. Mistakes happen, and now she had a story to tell. The plane took off. Mia looked out the window next to the woman beside her. The sky turned soft blue, and the clouds looked like soft pillows. Mia closed her eyes for a moment and thought about the beginning of the trip. It was just the first day, and already something unexpected had happened. She realized that traveling was full of surprises. Sometimes they were fun, sometimes confusing, and sometimes a little embarrassing. But they all became part of the adventure. During the flight, Mia listened to music, watched a movie, and even managed to sleep a little. The seat wasn't perfect, but the view from the sky was still amazing. When the plane landed in Paris, Mia stretched and stood up. She waited her turn to leave the plane and walked past the first-class cabin again. This time, she smiled at it like an old friend. At the baggage area, she found her suitcase and walked outside into the cool air of the new city. The sky was cloudy, but her heart felt light. She took a deep breath. Paris was in front of her, full of unknown streets, smells, sounds, and stories. She hadn't even reached her hotel yet, and already she had a memory she'd never forget. As Mia walked toward the taxi line, she thought about all the things that might happen next. Maybe she would get lost. Maybe she would try food she couldn't pronounce. Maybe she would meet people who didn't speak English. But she knew now that mistakes were just part of the trip. And sometimes they led to the best stories. Without realizing it, you just learned a lot of useful English. You saw how native speakers describe situations, feelings, and small everyday actions. You noticed natural phrases and sentence patterns that can help you speak more smoothly. That's the magic of learning through stories. You enjoy the journey, and your brain learns the language at the same time. If you liked this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss a new one. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever made a funny or embarrassing mistake while traveling? Leave a comment and share your story. Let's learn from each other. See you in the next video.